In every age, there comes a moment when heaven grows silent, and only a few still hear the whisper of truth. They are not the famous nor the powerful, but the ones whose hearts bleed in secret. While the world celebrates noise, they stand apart, unseen, carrying a burden too sacred for words. This is the hidden separation. They walk among us, the faithful few. Their smiles are gentle, their steps quiet, their eyes tired from weeping for things the world no longer feels. They do not boast of faith. They live it, quietly, painfully, with a trembling hope. These are the ones who sense the shifting winds of eternity before others notice the storm. For in every generation, God draws a line, invisible yet unshakable. Not a line of hatred, but of holiness. A separation that begins in the heart long before it appears in the world. And few see it coming, because separation never begins with war, it begins with worship. There was a time when light and darkness still dined at the same table. When believers and pretenders raised their hands together, sang the same hymns, and spoke the same words. But slowly, the Spirit began to stir, dividing those who sought comfort from those who sought truth. And one by one, the faithful were pulled apart, not by force but by conviction. Some lost friends, others lost pulpits, many lost peace. Yet, in their silence, heaven was watching. They became the hidden ones, those whose faith was not loud, but alive. Those who wept while others laughed. Those who prayed while others slept. And perhaps you are one of them. But few understand what that really means. Because separation is not about leaving people, it's about leaving patterns. It's about walking away from applause to walk into obedience. It's about choosing purity over popularity. And that choice always costs something. You may lose your place among men, but gain your place before God. You may be misunderstood, ridiculed, or even abandoned. Yet, in the quiet ache of your soul, you will hear something the crowd cannot. The faint heartbeat of eternity echoing through your surrender. And so, the faithful few become strangers in their own land. They no longer find joy in the shallow waters of empty worship. The sermons that once thrilled them now grieve them. The songs that once stirred them now feel hollow. They have seen too much light to dance in the shadows again. But here lies the mystery. Their pain is not punishment. It is preparation. Because before God separates the world, He separates the hearts. In the days of Noah, there was laughter in the streets, music in the fields, and the smell of feasts in the air. But far from the noise, a single man built something no one understood. His hammer rang in defiance of the world's comfort. Each strike was a sermon, each plank a prophecy. And though they mocked him, heaven waited for the last nail. That was the hidden separation. Noah didn't isolate himself, obedience did. And when the rain came, the line between the faithful and the fallen was revealed by water. So it will be again. But few are ready for the silence before the storm. We imagine revival as a roar, but often it begins as a whisper. A breaking, a stirring, a hidden ache that only a few can feel. These are the ones who sense heaven's grief long before the earth trembles. They see compromise where others see comfort. They feel urgency where others feel ease. They hear the call to come out, not with pride, but with tears. And maybe that's what you've been feeling too. There's a separation happening even now. Not on stages, not in headlines, but in hearts. A quiet dividing line between those who seek God for what He gives and those who seek Him for who He is. Between those satisfied with religion and those desperate for relationship. Between the crowd that claps and the few that kneel. This is the silent cry of the faithful few. But take heart, for the same God who calls you out also covers you. He sees your loneliness, your tears, your quiet surrender. You may feel hidden, but you are not forgotten. You may feel small, but you are part of heaven's plan. Because every hidden servant becomes a revealed witness. Every silent cry becomes a trumpet of truth. Every unseen tear becomes a seed of awakening. The world may not see it yet, but heaven is writing your obedience into eternity's story. And one day, the silence will break. The faithful few will shine like dawn after a long night. The world will finally understand what the hidden ones were weeping for. And on that day, every unseen sacrifice will sing. Every hidden separation will make sense, and every silent cry will echo in heaven's halls. Maybe you are one of them, one of the quiet souls walking through divine loneliness. Remember this: the separation is not rejection, it's selection. The hidden few are not forgotten. They are chosen. Hold the line. Stay faithful. Heaven is nearer than it seems.